After a 34-day mission battling wildfires in Canada, the Mzansi one hotshot team of the Working on Fire program are back in the country. The contingent of 200 firefighters and 14 management personnel answered the urgent call for assistance from Canadian authorities in the face of significant wildland fire activities this year. And part of the team arrived at the Kruger in Mpumalanga International Airport to a hero's welcome last weekend, with more expected to travel back this week. And we speak now to Trevor Abrams. He is Working on Fire Managing Director. Trevor, thank you so much for joining us, and good afternoon to you. Working on Fire, I mean, we see them celebrated on social media, but I think the context and the amount of effort and resources that is required to keep the team alive must be quite exorbitant. Good afternoon to you. So how has it been so far?
Good afternoon, Cindy. So far, it's been a very good deployment to Canada. We've had 2 Mzanzi teams, 1 and 2, of 200 firefighters and about 14 managers each. The third one is going out on Tuesday, the 18th, and we understand the fourth one is on order.
And this would be this is part of the nature of your work, that you are on standby essentially for fire or disasters that are happening around the world. And because of your expertise as well, that your team is well experienced and they carry their heart on their sleeve, that they're compassionate about the well-being of fellow human beings.
This is our 5th deployment to Canada, but it's part of a government-to-government agreement that has been signed that ensures that there's a sharing of resources and knowledge around wildland fires between Canada and South Africa. So it's not something new to it. What is new is that Canada's had an extremely exceptional fire season. They've had some 9.5 million hectares burnt already. And it's also new to us in the sense of the size of our deployment. So far, once our team goes out on Tuesday, we'd have sent 645, and if the fourth order comes, we're looking at 800 and probably 60 people we've sent so far this year. And their fire season goes up till September.
And give us the context. As you were saying, this is not necessarily new. It is a program that has been running for over 2 decades, and it falls under the ambit of the Public Works Department. Many might have confused it to be another gift of the givers or another philanthropy kind of program, and yet this is a government initiative. Give us the history or the context.
So this is a government program run through the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment. We've been going for 20 years, and it is one that was designed to employ unemployed young people, train them up to be professional firefighters, and serve our own country in terms of our fire needs, but also prepare these young people for work in the formal economy, in the state sector, in SAPS, SNDF, conservation agencies. So it's been remarkably successful in that respect. Part of that development has also, of course, been now this international deployments on 5 occasions to Canada, to Indonesia, to Chile, where we've been able to sort of show our skills and our abilities, where we come to assist peoples abroad.
And we know the reality, Trevor, also the fact that we are sitting with almost 40% of unemployment, particularly affecting young people. And the concern could also be that there is a risk of losing the critical skills to other nations, seeing that you've done so well in the firefighting international space. Are there opportunities for the young people currently in this program that may have been approached by, their counterparts internationally to join their teams?
Well, this year has been exceptional. I think in Canada, they've had firefighters from every continent in the world: South Korea, France, Portugal, Spain, Brazil, Ecuador, Chile, Costa Rica, the US, and of course, South Africa. So we've had lots of contact as such. I don't think there's been any particular sort of recruitment effort. Many of our firefighters, they say they would love to work here. But firefighting in Canada is essentially a seasonal matter, as you can imagine. You're not having these fires when it's snowing. So it's really a means of being able to draw on international resources when the local resources are outstripped by the fires in Canada.
Okay, and just bringing it back home again, in terms of the training, we've seen reports around just the inability, let alone of government programs, but municipalities as well, to efficiently deliver service delivery and also to manage is there obligations or imperatives when it comes to service delivery. But this one seems to be the star of the show, Trevor. What is it that makes it work so efficiently?
I'm not sure this is the reason, but this is implemented by private companies. It's implemented by Kishugu group of companies. We have a fleet company, we have an aerial company, we have a training academy. And it's our academy which is our bedrock of the molding of these young people into professional firefighters. And we've been doing it for a while, so we've accumulated quite a bit of experience in the game and been successful. So 60% of our managers are former firefighters. We place many of our firefighters, as I said, in the South African Police, Defence Force, conservation agencies, municipalities, as well as the private sector. And a few of them actually become entrepreneurs setting up business on their own.
So you're saying when you match the right skill set with the expertise, the opportunity, and also most critically, what be vetting those candidates, the cohort of groups that will form part of this program, that they themselves need to aspire to a higher level of excellence. How rigorous is the recruitment process, Trevor?
So the recruitment right from the beginning focuses on fitness. So there's a very high emphasis. You have to run your 2.4 kilometers. You need to do your push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups. And, we have quite a proud record of at least 30% of our firefighters are female. So that's a level that you don't find anywhere else in the world. And even the Canadian High Commissioner in welcoming back Mzansi 1 mentioned this, that Canada really promotes gender equality, and our teams show that it can be done.
Yeah, the gender parity is very important, as you're saying, 30% of women being part of your team. But I think you jumped the gun there, because I was going to ask exactly whether you have a target. We seem to go towards a 50-50 split in terms of female representation in the space. And secondly, the level of casualties, I guess, because it is a high-risk area that you operate in.
Yes, it is a high risk. I think just yesterday, Canada experienced its first firefighter fatality. We are very fortunate. We came back with a zero injury record from Canada, and we hope to maintain it as such. So we place a very high emphasis on the safety aspect, and the Canadians themselves have a very, very, very strong safety regime at all our fire areas. But firefighting is dangerous. That's the reality of it. And we try and recruit. In terms of females, it is a challenge. As I said, the 30% mark is the highest of any such firefighting service in the world. And part of it has to do with the age group we recruit, often 18 to 24. Many of them are childbearing in terms of females, and not necessarily available or fit enough to deal with the situation. And fitness is an important safety method. You have to be able to survive working in the conditions and be able to get out of danger quickly.
And just before, as we let you go, it is obviously about national pride, national duty, patriotism, but the incentive of being a firefighter and saving lives, I'm sure that's a prize or the motive for most of your recruits.
I think for having young people who were formerly unemployed, recognized in their own community in South Africa as contributing to saving lives, saving property, and protecting the environment. You can imagine what it means when they go onto international platform and on many occasions be praised for their work and the quality of their work, their professionalism. There was one Australian incident commander in the passing out parade when we left who said, you guys can be proud of being part of the professional wildland firefighting community in the world. I think for these young people, that's an extremely, extremely high accolade and something that obviously makes them proud.
Thank you so much, Trevor, and congratulations again to your team. And I'm sure I speak for South Africans in general and broadly that we're truly inspired by you, we're motivated, and we're extremely proud of the work that you're doing. We're speaking to the Fire Managing Director, Trevor Abrams, speaking about South Africa's Hotshots, who just returned home. There's another group that is expected later this week, so we'll keep a watch on that. So still to come.